The Other Daughter, Chapter 13. I Am the Affair Baby. That's right, the living, breathing reminder of every scandalous headline and whispered judgment. I didn't go looking for Andrew, but he showed up looking for me. He'd lost a lot of weight. In a simple white shirt and jeans, he looked like a straight-laced college student. Honestly, he's not my type. He's too clean-cut. His life has been smooth sailing from start to finish, while someone like me is dark-hearted and calculating, like how the ever-burning sun is oblivious to the shadows of the moon. Feels like we're from entirely different worlds. But when I saw him carefully pull 2 concert tickets out of his pocket and offer them to me with so much hope in his eyes, I couldn't help it. My defenses crumbled. Actually, I'm not a fan of jazz, I said, not reaching for the tickets. His expression fell instantly. The sparkle in his eyes vanished. But, I added, if you're willing to come with me, how about we go see a movie instead? I reached out and held his hand. For the first time, I started dating Andrew seriously, putting real effort into the relationship. I even gave him my research notebook. It was filled with pages of notes I'd taken about him, his interests, his hobbies, wine tasting, golf rules, the history of jazz and its iconic figures. As he flipped through the notebook, his shock grew with every page. I knew it wasn't exactly a smart move, but to me, honesty and sincerity are the foundation of love. I wanted him to see the real me, an ordinary girl who grew up in the city, never traveled abroad, never set foot on a yacht, doesn't like wine, and falls asleep listening to jazz. My background isn't glamorous. I'm ambitious and calculating, not inherently kind. I've always done whatever it takes to get what I wanted. I wanted him to like the real me, not some fake version I pretended to be. Loving someone without pretense is freeing. Andrew turned out to be the most gentle and thoughtful boyfriend I could have imagined. I'd never felt so cherished or been treated so tenderly before. That afternoon, I had a wine tasting event at the Empire Hotel, but I promised to go to the concert with him that evening. Afterward, we planned to grab some street food. On the phone, I told him, let's leave the cars at home tonight. I brought a nice bottle of wine, thought we could share it over dinner. He chuckled. Bordeaux with street barbecue? Fusion is the best. I laughed. We were still figuring things out, but at least we were being honest with each other. The wine tasting event was boring, and I was about to sneak out. The CFO of Calmera Company approached me with a glass of wine. We'd worked together a few times, so we exchanged pleasantries. She recommended I try the desserts, and I had to admit, they were delicious. After saying my goodbyes to the hosts, I left the Empire Hotel. The Crest Group building was nearby, just a 10-minute walk, so I'd sent my driver home earlier. Carrying a box of wine, I started walking. I hadn't gone far when I felt dizzy. At first, I thought it was the champagne I'd had earlier, but soon my vision blurred, and I could barely see where I was going. Something was wrong. I fumbled to pull my phone out of my bag to call Andrew, but I couldn't see the screen clearly, and my hands were shaking too much to press any buttons. My body felt weak, like I was about to collapse. Leaning against a tree, I gasped for air. 2 men walking by stopped and approached me. One of them put a hand on my arm. Anna, are you okay? What's wrong? I wanted to ask who Anna was, but my voice was trembling too much to speak. Come on, let's get you home, one of them said as they each grabbed an arm and started leading me toward a nearby van. We told you not to drink so much. Now look at you, making yourself miserable. Alarm bells were going off in my head. Mustering what little strength I had left, I grabbed a passing middle-aged man and whispered hoarsely, "Call the police." I don't know them. But the man didn't hear me clearly. One of the men holding me smiled at him. She's my girlfriend. Had a bit too much to drink. The man gave an understanding nod and walked away. Around us, people passed by, going about their business, oblivious to what was happening. As the van got closer, a wave of despair washed over me. I knew that if I got into that van, it would be over. Through my blurry vision, I spotted a tall, broad-shouldered man standing by the road, holding his phone. Desperation gave me one last surge of strength. I wrenched myself free from the 2 men and stumbled toward him, grabbing onto his shirt. The men followed. Sorry about this. She's my girlfriend, just a bit too drunk. I knew no words would convince anyone otherwise, So I grabbed the man's phone out of his hand and threw it to the ground, smashing it. He stared at his shattered phone in disbelief. Clutching his arm, I collapsed. But then, I saw him grab one of the men by the collar and shout, "You're her boyfriend, right? Then pay for my phone."